Do you need a realtor for new construction? Because you're hearing no. Why would I need a realtor? I'll just walk on into that model center, find the home I like, and work with the representative who's already there. Well, that's not the smartest thing in the world, and I'm not calling you dumb. I'm saying that you do need a realtor, and I'm here to tell you why. I'm Carolyn Smith. I am the team leader of the Coastal Estate team with Compass, and my background before my 17 years now in real estate was that I owned a custom home building company for 15 years. And so I have a big background in construction and specifically in custom home building. But any realtor would be able to tell you why you need a realtor for new construction. And some realtors, yes, some realtors are going to be more skilled in new construction. I do have a lot to say, which is shocking, I know, but I do have a lot to say. So this will probably be a two-part episode. So we'll start with number one, which is that nice person that you meet at the builder model, that lovely person who wants to sell you a home. They work for the builder. And unlike when we are out there and we are saying, well, I represent the seller, but I can also work with you, that's not true with a builder's rep. They can work with you, but they work for the builder. They represent the interests of the builder, and they're making sure that the interests of the builder come first. It's very important to know that. They're paid directly by the builder to represent the builder. So when you go in there and you have specific questions or specific needs, if it is not in the best interest of the builder, you may not be getting the best advice. And I don't want to say anything horrible about new builder reps because I work with a lot of new builder reps who are amazing, who are wonderful, who are helpful. But at the end of the day, if you do not have a representative looking out for you, then you can be sure that not all of your best interests are at the forefront. So keep that in mind. That's number one. Number two is when we're looking at new construction, we're looking at different communities typically because most new construction, unless you're doing build on your own lot, and I do work with a lot of clients who we identify a lot. We work with a builder to build on their own lot in a neighborhood that is not a new construction community. But in a new construction community, typically that area will have multiple new home communities, and a realtor can help you identify which community is best for you. What are the amenities that community provides? Maybe they're in different school districts, which you may not have been aware of. Maybe there's access issues with how you get in and out of the community that don't exist in the community that's right next door. So it's really important to know what's the best community for you, and a realtor can help you identify that. When we go into a new home community, there's lots of models and lots of options, and choosing the right model is not as simple as you would think because they may have 10 models for you to walk through, and you can start getting confused because what happens with models? They're staged. So they're laid out in a certain way to appeal to the most buyers, and you may fall in love with the staging, you may fall in love with the lot that a particular model is on, but remember, that's not your home. So we have to find the right model for you, and a realtor can take a very objective view and say, why are we looking at this home? Because this home is a 2-story and you really only want a single story, and maybe there's another model that really suits your needs of a single story. And remember, not all models that the builder offers are available pre-built to look at. Sometimes though, when we're working with the builder's rep, we can identify another home that's being built that is in a stage of construction where you can walk through. It's not all furnished. It belongs to a particular buyer, so it has their taste as far as their finishes and fixtures. But we can walk through and say, is that a good option for you in terms of the layout of the home? So don't get swayed and think I have to buy one of the models that's already staged and ready to go. That's what I'm going to get. That's very important, and a realtor can help you with that. The fourth thing that a realtor can help you with is selecting the right lot. And again, I don't want to say anything bad about builders reps because I really do like builders reps, but sometimes there are lots that they're trying to get sold because maybe the lot is not backing to the best view. And my particular thing is, do you want a rear west home? When we talk about elevation, the rear elevation facing west, because people think, well, that's great. The sunset over the lake and it's so beautiful. It's also 9,000 degrees. It is so hot. And if you do not spend a lot of time in your backyard, if you're not an outdoor person, you never intend to put in a pool, and you don't care that at resale, that's going to be a concern for a potential buyer. So these types of things are things that we're looking at as a realtor, helping you buy a new construction. Are you on a T? I always tell people, do you really want to live on a T? And a T is the T where there's an intersection, a road coming in, and then you're going to be on this road, and their headlights, every time they come up to that stop sign, their headlights are going to be shining into your home. So these are things that you may not be thinking of. And again, I keep saying it, but nothing against a builder's rep, but they're not going to necessarily be pointing out these things to you when they're helping you choose your lot. A builder uses a specific contract, a builder's contract, in almost all cases. There are some very small builders, build on your own lot builders, who buy random lots out, let's say in Palm Bay, and they may not have a builder's contract, but almost every builder has their own contract. And those contracts are not really changeable because those corporations, D.R. Horton, Lennar, Pulte, Vieira Builders, those contracts are not going to be able to be changed by you as the buyer. But it's important that you understand all the terms. When are my deposits due? Can I negotiate when my deposits are due? What happens if I can't close? And you need to understand that before you sign. You could have something change. Maybe you have a change of employment or something like that. What happens if you're at a certain point in the build and you've signed a contract and you've given deposits? It's really important that you understand that you understand your rights. Can you resell the home? That type of thing. So don't get stuck signing a builder contract and not understanding what you're signing. One of the things that I think is really important that you're going to do is you're going to go to the design center and you're going to pick out all your finishes. Now, if you're building on your own lot, you've bought the lot, that's a little bit different because that builder may or may not have a design center. If you're working with a builder, let's say Lifestyle Homes, who I've done a lot of new construction builds with, they do have a design center even though they're building on your own lot. If you're working with, let's say, Vieira Builders has a design center that you're going to go to and you're going to pick your finishes with their designer. But a realtor can really help you here. And not all realtors are equal. I did design build construction for 15 years. So I really do understand more than most what that entails when you're picking out your finishes. But a realtor can help you stay within your budget because that is a place where you can easily go and exceed your budget. And there are options there. And you want to be choosing things that are good for you, but also good in the future, things that are timeless. If you say, I really like this crazy tile, and a lot of builders, their design centers are sort of set up to try and prevent that. Also, their designers on staff are set up to try and prevent that. So hopefully you're not picking things that don't go together, but you can run into trouble with picking things that are too expensive. What are the trade-offs that you should be making to stay within that budget you set? That's where your realtor can really help you by reminding you, pick out all the things and then let's back off so that we're staying in budget and not saying we have to have those things. We can back down on certain items and still have a beautiful, a gorgeous new construction home without getting ourselves into trouble financially. We've picked all our finishes. We are getting ready to start the build. The permit's been issued. You're going to have a pre-construction meeting with the builder's rep, who is your superintendent on the home. And as the realtor, I go to all those meetings. I make sure that you as the buyer understand what that superintendent is saying to you. You've never built a home before in most cases. Maybe you have, but do you get along with the superintendent? Are they answering your questions? Sometimes people feel intimidated. This guy knows what he's doing, or girl, some superintendents. So they know what they're doing. I shouldn't be asking them questions. Maybe there's a little bite back when you're asking questions and it's making you uncomfortable. As your representative, as your realtor, it is my job to ensure that all your questions are answered. And I can tell you straight up, I am not intimidated by that superintendent. I am not intimidated by the build process. I am not going to back down if we feel that your questions are not answered or that you get an answer that you're not comfortable with. That is my job. I am your liaison between you and the builder. That is my job, to make sure that everything that you need to know is being answered, and it's being answered to your satisfaction, and that you're comfortable before we start construction. And if you're not, then it is also my job to go to the higher up the chain and say, hey, we're not comfortable. And you may think, well, that doesn't happen. Yes, that does happen. And you need a realtor who definitely is comfortable stepping in for you so that you aren't put in a position where they're just dismissing you and saying, that's not a big deal. That's not something to worry about. You're asking a dumb question. Make sure you're getting taken care of. When you are building, you are allowed to go visit the site. Every builder has their own restrictions on that. We often have to make appointments. You may have to wear a hard hat, closed-toed shoes, things for safety, but you are able to go visit the site. And your realtor should be coordinating that for you to make sure that you can go on site, that you can see the build, that you're comfortable with what's happening. And if you are not in town, which often happens, a lot of times the realtor can go on your behalf, take pictures, take videos. Yes, you should be getting those from the builder. I have to say there's only a couple builders that actually do that. So you want to make sure that you're hiring a realtor who's comfortable going on site for you, taking your pictures, taking your videos so that you can see the construction as it progresses. I think I have now hit number 8. I want to say again, my name is Carolyn Smith. I am the team leader of the Coastal Estate team with Compass. I've been selling real estate here on the Space Coast for 17 years. Prior to that, I had 15 years where I owned a custom home building company in South Florida before moving back to the Space Coast. We were very successful. We did design build. I am very well versed in construction. If you are thinking of building your own home on your own lot and you want a representative, or you want to look at new construction, I would love to help you. You can reach me at 321-271-0870, or you can message me through whichever platform you're watching this on. Come back for part 2 and we'll finish the other 8 reasons you need a realtor to help you when you're purchasing new construction. Cheers.